joining me for this 30-minute yoga session that encompasses poses from different types of yoga, including Bikram, Hatha, and Vinyasa. I hope you enjoy it and feel more connected to your body. Before we begin, make sure you have your shoes and socks off and a set of yoga blocks handy. A towel or blanket might also be helpful to sit on or to pad your knees. So let's warm up. Seat yourself on your mat in a cross-legged position with your back nice and straight. Take a deep breath as you raise your arms up over your head. Exhale as you lower them down. Again, deep breath in as your arms go up. Exhale as you lower your arms. Now take a twist to your right side with your left hand on your right thigh between your knee and hip, and your right hand behind your back, and bring it a little closer to your lower back. Here you might feel your lower back arching in as you keep your spine tall. Twist a little more to feel the stretch. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Now raise your right arm up and lean to the left, keeping your left hand on your right thigh. Try to keep your left leg from raising up too much. If it's easier, you can bring your left hand to the outside of your left hip for a deeper stretch. Inhale and exhale. Now come up and we'll do the opposite side. Put your right hand on your left thigh, left hand behind the back. Bring your left hand close to your lower back, and you'll feel a little lift, a nice stretch. Twist a little more. Inhale deeply and exhale. Lift your left arm up and lean to the right, keeping your right hand on your left thigh. Or you can bring your right hand to the outside of your right hip for a nice stretch. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. Come on up and walk your hands forward as far as you can for a nice forward fold stretch. Take a full inhale, full exhale. Now continue forward onto your shins and then on your hands and knees. Or just swing your legs around. Then you can get on all fours here. This is where you might want to place your towel or blanket to pad your knees. The cat-cow stretch is a vinyasa pose that links your body movements to your breath, which involves moving the spine from a rounded position to an arched one in conjunction with either an inhalation or exhalation. Let's begin by keeping your hands shoulder width apart and your knees directly below your hips in a tabletop position. Press down through your thumb and forefinger. Inhale deeply while opening your chest by curving your lower back and bringing your head up, tilting your pelvis up like a cow. You should have a nice arch on your back. Exhale deeply and round your spine. Bring your abdomen in, your head and pelvis down like a cat. Inhale again, open the spine, heart and chest as you arch your back into cow. Exhale, round your spine, hollow your belly, lifting in and up. One more time, inhale to arch into your cow, and exhale, rounding into your cat. Regular practice of cat-cow poses is good for developing awareness of your posture and can help improve it. Now walk your hands forward, bring your hips back towards your heels, making sure your thumb and forefinger are firmly pressed. Then lift your hips up and back. This is downward facing dog. Here you can keep your knees bent if you have tight hamstrings, or if you find your weight too much forward into your hands. Keep lifting your hips high and try not to hunch your shoulders. The power should come from pelvis, hips, and torso rather than the arms and legs. Push your top thighs back and stretch your heels toward the floor. Straighten your knees without locking them. Firm your arms and press the thumbs and forefingers actively into the floor. Keep your head between your upper arms. Downward dog strengthens the core and improves circulation while providing a deep, full body stretch. Take a deep breath in Deep breath out. Now walk your feet up to your hands. Once you're at the top of your mat, hang over your legs. Maybe grab your elbows with your opposite hands and just relax for a nice shoulder stretch. Soften your knees and round up to stand. Circle your shoulders. Here we will do Half Moon Pose, which is a strengthening and stretching pose done in Bikram yoga. Stand with your feet together and your arms at your side. Inhale and lift your arms up over your head sideways. Interlace your fingers. Release your index fingers so they point up. Cross your thumbs. Your arms are straight and against your ears. Your chin is up. Your throat is visible in the mirror. At the same time, engage the muscles in your legs, buttocks, and stomach, standing straight. Squeeze your glutes together, pulling your kneecaps up, and squeeze your thighs together. To engage your core, concentrate on your abdomen. Feel like you're pulling your belly button inwards toward your spine and drawing up from your pelvic floor. Now stretch your arms and slowly warm it up, bending and stretching to the right and to the left. Do this a few times. Stretch and lengthen your spine. Bend your body left and right from the waist. Feel the stretching feeling down the arc outside of your body. Once you have stretched equally on both sides, return to your center. Now inhale as you stretch up from your waist and bend your upper body over to the right. We're going to hold it here. As you exhale, move your hips and lower body to the left. Keep your chin lifted, your arms straight, your palms together. Keep your knees straight. Alignment is more important in Half Moon than how deep you bend. Think of the side bends as coming from your core and inner thighs. Keep the weight in your heels. Inhale as you lengthen. Exhale. Keep breathing in and out through your nose throughout the posture. Never hold your breath. Slowly come up onto your center. Stand with your arms stretched up against your ears, weight in your heels, chin up, shoulders down, legs and buttocks, core all engaged, focusing on one point directly in front of you. Now stretch up, lengthening the torso, and without bending your arms or legs, arc your body from the waist to the left. Again, it's important to never risk alignment for depth. Depth will come with patience and correct alignment. Keep your body facing forward. If you notice your upper body is twisting backwards, you will need to realign your shoulders by bringing the left one forward and the right one back to get two shoulders in one line. Keep your arms straight, elbows locked, chin up parallel to the floor, eyes locked on the same point. Feel like your right arm is pulling your left arm up and over. The entire core section of the body is activated, flushed with energy and stretched. All of the important core muscles are given a gentle toning stretch that helps them support and strengthen during the rest of the practice. Inhale and come back up to your center. Now bend your knees and bring your hands to your floor, warming up for hands to feet pose. Bend a little by bending right and left a couple of times to warm up your spine. Now, making sure that you are bending your knees so that your legs and torso meet, reach around your legs and take hold of your heels with your palms facing up, hands, thumbs, and forefingers together and touching the floor. We all start from different positions with different strengths and levels of flexibilities, so don't force yourself. If you have a hard time grabbing your heels, just place your hands to the sides of your feet. Bend your elbows and press the inside of your forearms completely against the back of your calves. Your goal is to eventually touch your forearms on your calves and get your elbows as close as possible so your forearms and elbows will be invisible from the mirror. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. There's no gap between your torso and your legs. Pull on your heels and stretch. Make sure you're not putting your weight on your heels. Keep your breath steady. Take a full inhale and full exhale. Keep stretching. Inhale. Exhale. Now release your hands from your heels. Place your palms back together. Come up with your arms together over your head and relax your arms down by your side. Swing your arms down to the floor. Step your left foot back to a lunge. Then your right foot next to your left foot into a plank onto the balls of your feet. Make sure your hands are underneath your shoulders. Tighten your elbows close to your ribs rather than letting them splay outward. On an exhalation, bend your elbows and slowly lower your body, keeping it as straight as a plank of wood until your elbows are at around 90 degrees. Then lower gently to the floor. Drop your knees along the way if you need to. Point your toes, open your chest to a mini cobra by raising your chest up. Then come back to downward facing dog. Walk your feet up to your hands. Once you're at the top of your mat, soften your knees and round up to stand. Bend your knees and come into a chair pose. Inhale and raise your arms overhead so that your biceps are just slightly in front of your ears. Either keep the arms parallel, palms facing forward, or join the palms. Exhale and bend your knees so that your thighs are as parallel to the floor as possible. Your knees will project out over your feet, and your trunk will lean slightly forward over your thighs until your front torso forms approximately a right angle with the tops of your thighs. Now, swan dive your arms down and let your head and neck relax. Inhale, exhale. Let's make our way back to downward facing dog. Now step your right foot forward to your hands so your toes are in line with your fingertips, and shift your foot slightly to the right. Bend your front knee 90 degrees. Your thigh should be approximately parallel to the floor. Your knee stacked over your ankle, your hips facing forward. Anchor your left heel to the floor so your foot forms a 45-degree angle to the side of the mat. You can place the feet slightly wider for more stability. Press your left thigh bone back so your left knee is straight. As you inhale, raise your torso and reach up with the arms, hands shoulder distance apart, and palms facing each other. Allow your shoulder blades to open out and up away from your spine. Rotate your biceps back and firm your triceps. You may bring your palms together and look up at your thumbs. Lift your chest, open your heart, breathe in. This pose is Warrior One. Now bring your hands to prayer. Open your left toes, even a little more to the left, pointing to the left side of your mat. Walk your right foot closer to the left, pointing to the front of the mat. Line up your right ankle up with the left arch. Lunge the right knee forward and stretch your arms open, your torso facing left and your hips straight for Warrior Two. Turn your head to face your right fingertips. Make sure the right knee opens to its own side and the left leg is pressed back firmly. Draw your belly into your spine. Breathe. Now reverse back. Come into Peaceful Warrior. Place your left hand down the back leg with your palms open to the sky. Look up. Now come back to Warrior Two. From here, we will flow into Trikonasana, or Triangle Pose, which is practiced in Bikram yoga. Your arms are open wide now. Without moving anything else, swing your right arm down to the right so the right elbow is in front of the right knee and your fingertips are touching the ground. Your left arm is straight up. Turn your head to the left, looking up to the ceiling, so your chin is touching your left shoulder. The upper body is twisting. You're turning the upper body so the chest is opening, but the hips stay straight, only slightly angled. Both arms are stretching away from each other, shoulder to fingertip. Your arms want to be in one line, just stretching in opposite directions. Inhale and come back up, straightening your right leg. Now hop your left foot a little closer up as we come into Pyramid Pose. Here you may want to use your yoga blocks on either side of your feet. Keep your hips facing forward and both sides of your waist elongated by pressing down with your right big toe mound at the same time as you draw your left hip back and in toward your right heel. Your legs are in a short stance, about 2 to 4 feet. Fold your body over your right thigh. Bring your forehead toward your shin. To avoid injury, keep a slight soft bend in your knees rather than locking them. Activate the muscles in your hips. legs, and abs to hold you up, rather than overtaxing the ligaments at the back of your knees. Press down into all four corners of your feet to generate stability. This is a good stretch for the upper hamstring. From here, slide your left leg back. Lower the knee to the ground. Bring both blocks to the inside of the right thigh, and then lower your elbows to the blocks. This is Lizard Pose. Lizard Pose is a great way to stretch your hamstrings, hip flexors, and quadriceps. Strengthening these muscle groups will help you maintain a full range of motion. Keep your head in a neutral, relaxed position. The pose also has many mental benefits, including reducing stress, improving focus, energizing creativity, and releasing emotion. Take a deep breath. Inhale, exhale. Full inhale, full exhale. When you're ready to release from the pose, exhale deeply and straighten your arms so your wrists are under your shoulders. Let's do another cat-cow to realign our bodies. Keep your hands shoulder-width apart and your knees directly below your hips. Press down through your thumb and forefinger. Inhale, deeply open your chest into cow. Exhale deeply and round your spine into cat. Now step back to downward facing dog. Step your left foot forward to your hands so your toes are in line with your fingertips, and shift your foot slightly to the left. Here we'll come into Warrior 1. Bend your front knee 90 degrees. Your thigh should be approximately parallel to the floor, your knees stacked over your ankle, and make sure your hips are facing forward. Anchor your right heel to the floor so your foot forms a 45-degree angle to the side of the mat. Press your right thigh bone back so your right knee is straight. As you inhale, raise your torso up and reach up with the arms, hands shoulder distance apart and palms facing each other. Allow your shoulder blades to open out and up away from your spine. Rotate your biceps back and firm your triceps. Bring your palms together and look up at your thumbs. Lift your chest, open your heart, breathe in. Now bring your hands to prayer. Open your right toes, even a little more to the right, pointing to the right side of your mat. Walk your left foot closer to the right, pointing to the front of the mat. Line up your left ankle up with the right arch. Lunge the left knee forward and stretch your arms open, your torso facing right and your hips straight for Warrior 2. Turn your head to face your left fingertips. Make sure the left knee opens to its own side and the right leg is pressed back firmly. Draw your belly into your spine. Breathe. Now we'll come into Peaceful Warrior. Place your right hand down the back leg with your palms open to the sky. Come back to Warrior 2. Triangle Pose. Your arms are wide open now. Without moving anything else, swing your left arm down to the left so the left elbow is in front of the left knee and your fingertips are touching the ground. Your right arm is straight up. Turn your head to the right, looking up to the ceiling so your chin is touching your right shoulder. The upper body is twisting. You're turning the upper body so the chest is opening, but the hips stay straight, only slightly angled. Both arms are stretching away from each other, shoulder to fingertip. Your arms want to be in one line, just stretching in opposite directions. Inhale and come back up, straightening your left leg. If you have blocks, here is where you may need them. Hop your right foot a little closer up as we come into Pyramid Pose. Keep your hips facing forward. Your legs are in a short stance, about 2 to 4 feet apart, facing the front of your mat. Without bending your knees, fold your body over your left thigh, placing your hands on your blocks. Bring your forehead toward your shin. Activate the muscles in your hips, legs, and abs to hold you up. Press down into all 4 corners of your feet to generate stability. Feel the stretch in the upper hamstring. Breathe. From here, slide your right leg back, lower the knee to the ground, inch your left leg more to the left, and bring both blocks to the inside of the left thigh. And now lower your forearms to the blocks into lizard pose. Keep your head in a neutral, relaxed position. Take a deep inhale, full exhale. Inhale and exhale. Your thigh bone sits to the side of and forward of your hip socket, so it's normal if you find your front thigh to be angled outward. Our collection of different angles in our bones are uniquely individual to our own bodies, so straight lines don't always work well in yoga practice. You can create even more space within your hip joints by turning the toes of your front foot outward toward the front corner of your mat. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. When you're ready to release from the pose, exhale deeply and straighten your arms so your wrists are under your shoulders, and we'll meet back in downward facing dog. Walk your feet to the front of the mat and slowly round up to stand. Here we'll go into some balancing sequences, starting with tree pose. Place your left foot on your inner calf or your inner thigh. Bring your hands to prayer. Keep your gaze on one point as you maintain balance. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. You might find it easier to raise your arms up like branches of a tree and maintain your balance that way. Bring your hands back to prayer, and without bringing your left foot down, turn your left knee forward and step it back into a high lunge, which is just like Warrior One, but with your heel raised. Make sure your feet are hip distance apart. Keeping your hands in prayer, lean forward, twist to the right, and take your left elbow down to your right knee and come into a lunging twist, a revolved lunge. For some, it might be easier to drop that left knee, so go ahead and do that if it makes you feel better. Now bring your left foot forward into a revolved chair pose. Inhale and exhale. Now bring yourself up back into a chair and then stand up. Let's do the other side. Tree pose. Bring your right foot to your left inner calf or inner thigh and hands to prayer. Gaze at one point, breathing in, breathing out, trying to keep your balance. Maybe take your arms up to maintain your balance. Now carefully step your right foot back into a high lunge, which is just like Warrior One, but with your heel raised. Make sure your feet are hip distance apart. Keeping your hands in prayer, lean forward and twist to the left, placing your right elbow outside the left knee. Try to turn your head to look past your left shoulder. If you need to drop your right knee for stability, go for it. Step the right foot to meet the left now, and we're in revolved chair. Try to keep your knees even. Now turn to face your center, come back to chair pose, and slowly come up to stand. Stand with the feet parallel, a few inches apart. Your arms are resting by your side, maybe palms facing forward. This is mountain pose. Be mindful of any tendency to round your shoulders or stand with a collapsed chest. Just focus on standing tall. Pull your shoulder blades together at your back. Soften your shoulders away from your ears and lift up through the top of your head. Now fold your body down to touch the floor. Move your feet back into plank position. Lower all the way down to your belly. Keep your arms to your sides. Next, we'll go into a locust pose. This pose strengthens and increases flexibility throughout the entire back of the body, including the spine, legs, buttocks, and all the muscles surrounding your ribs and upper torso. Working the upper back muscles improves posture and helps relieve stress and fatigue caused by slouching forward. Rest your forehead on the mat. Extend your legs straight behind you, hip width apart. Do not roll your heels inward or outward. Instead, press your weight evenly across the tops of both feet. Inhale and raise your head to look forward. On your exhale, lift your chest, arms, and legs, keeping them straight back and stretched. Keep your arms alongside your body with your palms facing down. Lift your upper spine and reach your arms back toward your feet. Keep your chest lifted as you widen across your collarbones. Keep your breath smooth and even. Now slowly release your body to the ground. Come to your hands and knees on the yoga mat. Spread your knees as wide as your mat, keeping the tops of your feet on the floor with the big toes touching. Here we are coming into Child's Pose. Bring your belly to rest between your thighs and root your forehead to the floor. Relax the shoulders, jaw, eyes. You can stretch your arms out in front of you with the palms toward the floor, or bring your arms back alongside your thighs with the palms facing upwards. You can also stretch the arms forward with palms facing up for a shoulder release. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Now come up to sit on your knees. Lift your buttocks off your heels and keep your knees hip width apart. Here we will do one last back bend called Camel Pose, commonly practiced in Bikram yoga. Place your hands on your lower back, thumbs outside, fingers pointing down. Press your tailbone down. Pull your belly in. Inhale. Lift your chest. Bring your elbows back and slowly go back halfway. Maybe this is as far as you can go, so stay here. Allow your rib cage to expand. Keep your hips stacked over your knees. If you want to go further, keep your chest raised, your core engaged, your spine long, your chin tucked, and your shoulders back as you drop your hands toward your heels. Press the heels of your hands into the heels of your feet, draping the fingers over the soles. Lift your chest, push your hips forward. Gently allow the head and neck to extend backward. Gaze at the tip of your nose. Breathe. To exit, bring your hands to support your lower back as you come slowly back up to your knees. Next, we'll go into half tortoise pose. Start by kneeling, buttocks resting on your heels, with your feet and your knees together. Place the palms of your hands together above your head. Your biceps should be touching your ears. Inhale and fold forward with your hands stretched out as far as you can in front of you. Lower the torso slowly with control so that you can feel yourself taking control of the spine. Your pinky fingers should come into contact with the floor first, and your hands should be stretched out straight. Relax your hips to your heels. Your wrists and elbows are not touching the floor. Ensure that your chin stays forward so that only your forehead touches the floor. This will ensure that your head is at a lower level than your heart. Keep your buttocks on the heels and the forehead on the ground, and with your arms stretched out as far as possible. Hold the position, breathing deeply each time, raising the rib cage. This posture is beneficial in that it increases the blood flow to the brain, stretches the back, strengthens the shoulders, stretches the hips, relieves neck and shoulder pains, strengthens and tones abdominal muscles. To release, use the strength of your abdomen to lift your torso upwards, just the way you came down. We'll get into some final postures now. Let's make our way to sit. Swing your legs out in front of you. We'll do head to knee pose. Left leg stays stretched forward with your foot flexed. Bend your right knee so that your right foot presses against your left inner thigh. Bring your hands forward. Lengthen your chest forward. Stretch. Bring your left arm inside your left leg as you bring your right arm up, leaning left for a good stretch. Come up and switch. Right leg forward, foot flexed. Bend your left knee so that your left foot presses against your right thigh. Turn to face the right leg and fold forward. Hold. Breathe. Now place your right arm inside your right thigh and stretch your left arm up, leaning right to stretch your left side. Come on up and stretch both legs forward. Walk your hands forward for seated forward fold. Flex your toes back. Keep walking your hands forward as far as you can go. Stretch. Breathe. Now sit up, bend your knees, placing your feet flat on the mat. Keep your back straight and then slowly roll down onto your back. Once you're down, with feet firmly on the mat, raise your hips up for bridge. Breathe. Now slowly lower down your upper back, your middle back, and finally your lower back. Walk your feet together so that the bottoms are touching each other and your knees are apart. This is Goddess Pose. Relax in this pose as you take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Let's set up for Shavasana. Extend your legs out and place your feet at the far corners of your mat. Bring your arms to your sides, palms facing up. Close your eyes and take a slow, deep breath through the nose. Allow your whole body to become soft and heavy, letting it relax into the floor. As the body relaxes, feel the whole body rising and falling with each breath. Scan the body from the toes to the fingers to the crown of the head, looking for tension, tightness, or tense muscles. Release and relax any areas of tightness that you find. Release all control of the breath, the mind, and the body. Let your body move deeper and deeper into a state of total relaxation. Stay in Shavasana as long as you need to. My name is Yasmin, and I thank you for joining me for my mixed yoga flow class. Have a wonderful rest of your day.